Hey, it's Jose here, and I just wanted to let you know that if you have a message to share, I want to tell you about Anchor. It is free and it is an easy way to create a podcast for you to share that message. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. There are certain creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. And most importantly, you can get your message out to the world and impact the lives that you were created to impact. Download Anchor right now. My name is Jose Vargas, and I am on a mission to help you create breakthroughs in your personal and professional life so that you can grow and lead your life with excellence. Welcome everyone to the Jose Vargas Show. I am your host, Jose Vargas. Thank you so much for listening. In this episode, I want to talk to you about how to go higher, how to get more results, and how to continue to thrive in your life and leadership. So in 2019, I officially launched my leadership speaking career after 15 plus years of leading myself, leading others, being a student of leadership. I wanted to embark on this journey of awakening, of empowering, and of equipping people to become leaders worth following. I had a career, as many of you already know if you've been listening to this podcast for some time, had a career as a pastor, Secret Service officer. And so recently in 2019, I launched my website, reachinghighernow.com, because I really do believe that in life, you have to continually strive to become all who you were created to be. And so it's been a growing process ever since launching the business, launching the website. I've learned so much, and I'm still learning so much about business, this new world of business. So once you achieve, though, a particular area of success in life, two things can happen to you that I want to talk to you about very quickly before we get into the 5 steps to reaching higher, okay? The 5 steps to reaching higher. But I first want to mention this because I really do believe that God has given you talents. He's given you gifts, abilities, experiences that you have to continually sharpen and use throughout your life in leadership. And so once you achieve success in a particular area of your life, two things can happen that we need to be mindful of and that we need to guard from, okay? Mindful of and guard from. The first thing is when you achieve a level of success in your personal life, whether that is in your career, your finances, or even, let's say, your health, whatever area of life, two things can happen. The first thing that can happen is that you can settle. You begin to settle, okay? You somehow believe that you've arrived, okay? And obviously, if you choose to settle, you're not going to choose to thrive higher, to reach higher. So those are two things that success will cause in a leader's life. It will cause you to settle if you're not careful. And number two, you get arrogant. It will cause you to become arrogant or prideful. Okay, so either one of these will hinder you from going higher in your life, in your leadership, in your influence, and it will really rob you from becoming everything that you were created to become. You have to remain hungry and you have to remain humble, understanding that there is more for you to do. And that there is more people for you to serve, that there is more people for you to impact, that there is more people for you to help. And once you understand this, then you will continue to go higher and continue to go further. So I often meet people, and actually I'm thinking about a particular person right now. They've reached a level of success in their prior life, and even in their current life, where they're successful and they've achieved that success, but they stopped thriving for more. And because of that, they're living a life that basically they're settling for where they are. But I was recently listening to a teaching, and I took some notes, and I want to share them with you. And if you want to go higher in your career, if you want to go higher in your relationships, if you want to go higher in your marriage, in your finances, in your influence, if you want to go higher in your faith, if you want to go higher in your wealth building journey, in your legacy creation, if you want to go higher in your goals, in your mission, in your parenting, or whatever it is that is important to you in this moment and in this season of your life, then you need to apply these principles that I'm getting ready to share with you today. But before I share with you, I want to just, first of all, I want to preface it with this, that, and I'm sure you'll agree on this, because on your path towards reaching higher now, you will go through challenges. You will go through opposition. You will go through setbacks. And these steps that I'm getting ready to share with you will help you to continue to pursue more, to continue to climb up higher, to continue to celebrate the progress that you have already have, but also will help you continue to strive to becoming the leader worth following. Okay? So if you want to climb higher now, I want to encourage you to take some notes. I'm getting ready to give them to you. Okay, so the first thing that you and I need to do if we want to continue to climb higher, if we want to reach higher now in whatever area of life that you're striving for, the first thing is that you need to stop quitting. Stop quitting. Years ago, I was teaching a group of young people on the power of perseverance, literally one of my favorite subjects. So to emphasize my point, I brought with me on stage an old water pump from a well, which I still have in one of my boxes somewhere. But it's an old water pump from a well. Back in the old days, they didn't have faucets and a water system. So you had to go to a well and pump the water in order for you to be able to drink the water or wash or whatever you're going to use the water for. But you had a pump from a well. And so I brought that old water pump with me on stage, and I taught them that when you start pumping for water, nothing seems to be happening on the surface. You're pumping, and nothing seems to be happening. You're engaged, your energy is there, and because you see nothing, you stop pumping. You stop doing the action steps that are going to eventually give you the results. You stop, causing the water that was coming up slowly that you didn't see to go all the way back down again. Okay? And here's what happens when you stop. All your energy, all your effort is wasted at that point, leaving you with no results, no fruit to bear in your hands because you quit too soon. And so in order for you to get water, you have to start from scratch all over again. You have to pump and pump and pump. And the problem that I see today is many people start pumping, whether that is in their career or on social media or whatever, their relationships, and they don't see the results, so they quit. But if you quit too soon, just because you don't see the results, you'll never see the results. And often in life and in our leadership, we quit too soon. You tried working on your finances, and 3 months from now, 3 months went by, and you see nothing. So you give up budgeting, you give up managing all your finances altogether, and you throw your hands in the air and say, "See, Jose, this doesn't work." Or maybe you went to counseling for your marriage, and nothing seems to be changing on the surface. Okay? And so you want to throw in the towel on your marriage, and not knowing that maybe you are almost at the breakthrough point where things will finally turn around for you and for your relationship. I recently read on social media, and again, I don't know how true it is, but I know that some parts of it are true, so I'm not sure how the actual numbers are, but they say that when you first start working out, your first 30 days, you start noticing nothing. You don't see any changes in your body. You don't see any changes physically. And so many people give up. Many people quit. That's why New Year's resolutions often don't last, okay? Because people want to see instant results. And when they don't see instant results, they think nothing is happening, and so they give up. And so then after 60 days, you start noticing some minor changes. So these are for you, for the people who actually continue to press on and press through, even though you don't see the results that you want to see in your life right now. So after 60 days, you begin to see some minor changes. And then after 90 days, if you persist and if you press on and go and continue, then others will start noticing some changes and complimenting you on your appearance, your physical changes. And so the problem is that because we don't see the results that we want right away, we give up too soon, okay? And so I want to challenge you that if you want to reach higher in whatever area of life and leadership that you are currently leading in, okay, or personally for your life, you need to stop quitting. You need to stop quitting. Just because you don't see the water flowing doesn't mean it's not going to flow. If you keep pumping, it's just a matter of time before it starts to flow. The second step to reaching higher now is don't get complacent. Don't get complacent. I talk to so many people who've achieved a certain level of success and they stopped and they settle there. When the reality is that there's so much more for them than they can even begin to imagine. And yes, it's going to take more work. And yes, it's going to take more effort. And yes, it's going to take more energy and add a little bit or more work in there. But there is still more. So let me ask you, have you settled? Have you settled? Are you complacent in your job? Are you complacent in your career? Are you complacent in your marriage? And maybe you are at this point in your life where you're bored. You don't like going to work. You're bored in your marriage. You're bored in your relationships. You really know that there's more, but you just really are complacent where you are because at least it pays the bills, or at least you're still together, or at least whatever it is. But let me ask you, have you reached all that there is for you? Have you reached all that there is for you? And let me answer that for you. I doubt it. There is more for your leadership. There is more for your relationships. There is more for your finances. There is more for your health. But you have to want more to the degree that that want becomes action. Action. Okay? So number one, if you want to reach higher, you need to stop quitting. Number two, you need to not get complacent. Okay? All right. Success literally must be paid on a daily basis. However you define success, it must be paid on a daily basis. Okay. So stop quitting. Don't get complacent. And number three, learn from your past, but move ahead. When I coach or speak on leadership, and getting unstuck to get more results, I often ask people, what has led you to where you are? What has led you to where you are in life? What has led you to where you are in your relationships? What has led you to where you are in your health? What has led you to where you are in your faith, in your walk with God? What has led you to where you are in your career? Okay? And this question really causes you to think and own it. And think about your experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, and dissect those experiences. Break them apart. Learn from them so that you won't repeat the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. And let me just say that if you answer that question by blaming someone else, then you haven't learned the lesson. Okay? So continue to apply the principles that have worked for you, right? The things that you're most proud of, so that it can continue to give you more success. Learn from the mistakes. Don't dwell in your past. Learn from your past, and then learn to apply those principles, those lessons, and move forward. Let it go behind you. It's behind you. You don't live there anymore. You need to learn from the past, but you need to move ahead towards your present and towards your future. Okay? Your future is being created in your present. I'm going to say that again. Your future, the life that you want, the marriage that you want, the finances that you want, is being created right now by your decisions. Okay, so learn from your past, but move ahead. The fourth thing that you need to do in order to go higher, okay, the first one is stop quitting. The second one is don't get complacent. The third one is learn from your past but move ahead. Okay, and then the fourth one is hang out with people who are also climbing higher. Not just people who are talking about climbing, maybe one day this, maybe one day that. Okay, we all know people like that. I want to hang out with people who are moving. I want to hang out with people and be around people who are failing at something, but they're getting back up and they're doing something fantastic with their life. They're experimenting. They're not settling. They're moving. They're moving towards the vision that they have for their lives. They're moving towards the vision that they have for their family, for their business. I want to hang around with people who are choosing to lead their lives instead of allowing life to happen to them. I want to be around people like that, who challenge me to go higher in my thinking, in my attitudes, in my mindsets, in my finances, in my faith. People who are climbing higher, people who are believing for more in life. Because the reality is that there is more. And our associations will really determine how high we go. And so we need to hang around with people who are not just talking about going higher, but who are actually taking steps to move higher and who are, yes, making mistakes along the way, but who refuse to quit and who refuse to give in. And then the fifth and final steps to reach higher now is to keep looking up. I often say that if what you see with your eyes is not what you see in your heart, keep believing. I'm going to say that again. If what you see with your eyes is not what you see in your heart, keep believing. Meaning, keep your faith even when your current circumstances is saying something else. Keep the picture of what you want your life to be in front of you. Don't allow pessimism to take over your mind. As leaders, we need to learn to see the beauty in people, in our own situations, and learn to adjust, to grow, to reapply. Dave Ramsey, financial expert, said this. He said that all that success is really a pile of failure, and you get to stand on top of the pile of failure. Instead of being buried by failure, you stand on top of failure, and that's so good. Quit trying to do things perfectly. You grow when you take action. You grow when you refuse to stay where you are. You grow when you intentionally choose to take the good, the bad, the ugly of life and learn to use it to your advantage. Because there is more for your leadership. There is more people for you to impact. There is more inside of you. And I want to challenge you in this episode to start reaching higher now. You don't have to wait till tomorrow. You can start today. And I also want to leave you with this. It takes time and it takes work. But together we can become a leader worth following. You don't have to remain stuck. You don't have to put up a front. But you can take actionable, practical steps to get breakthroughs and not just accept your life, but lead your life towards excellence and towards impact. Because isn't that what we want? We want to have impact in this world, and we want to impact the people in our lives. I want to thank you for joining me today. Please share this podcast with another leader so that we can continue to grow and impact people together. I'll see you soon.